Так, игра что-то какая-то громкая. Прям очень. Ну что, 1 мая? Солнце светит. Надо закрыть окошечко. Первое мая, весна вся в разгаре, коронавирус тоже не дремлет. А игра должна быть, ну, по типу, ну не по типу, конечно, немножко о другом, чем про Рэйчел Фостер. Но я помню, я ее одним глазом смотрел, мне понравилось. Так, аудио. Вообще громкость музыки поменьше. Даже, я думаю, вот так, вот так. Хотя, пускай вот так будет графика, ну, тут так понятно. Есть управление камерой, чувствительность мы подкрутим. Так, чувствительность повыше нужна. Вот так, наверное. О, неплохо. Так. Что, вроде все идет, все работает. Я надеюсь. Да, все идет, все работает. Цветочки. Дайте мне на цветочки посмотреть. Ну что вы за люди? О! Так. Очень важная штука. Это субтитры. Которых я почему-то не вижу. Аудио, графика. А вот субтитров, похоже, здесь и нет. Да? Ну ладно. Читаем. Почитали. Да, лучше так сделать. Можно было нормально почитать. И опять забыл кое-что запустить. все готово. Отлично.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
А почитать опять не дали. Ну ладно. Дом. Так. Мышка нормальная.
Someone had put up a chain link fence, but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it.
Это да.
My brother Milton disappeared when I was 4. It was like the house just swallowed him up.
Грустная история семьи, на самом-то деле. Причем о всей. Кроме той, за кого мы играем. Звук окружения странный. Как будто бы не очень качественный.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Да. Там достаточно странный дом. Ой, бежать можно. На правую кнопку, прям как в армии. И на Shift. И на Ctrl. Что происходит? И на Alt. Полным-полно газет, прям битком. Это, кстати, маленькая копия домика, стало быть.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Наверное, стоит сделать немного погромче. Все-таки. Так.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Надо не запутаться во всем этом деле. Кстати, я думаю, что как раз дерево и поможет не запутаться. Вот это вот. Да, по дереву видно, что все умерли, кроме нее.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Ой, будем искать.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Финчи. Ну что? Куда мы пойдем?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Знакомая завязка, да?
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
Там кнопка есть под стримом. Так вот, по поводу завязки. Блин, хороший лесок. По поводу завязки. Мне довольно знакомая, да? Дом, наследство, гостиница, тайны семьи. Слушай, не знаю, там где-то потом просит карту. Нажимаешь, что-то вводишь, никнейм, сообщение, что-то там выбираешь, нажимаешь оплатить, и там, по-моему, дальше способ оплаты. Ну, сарайчик, машина даже стоит.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Да, интересный домик. Пристройки, надстройки. Ну, несложно. На самом деле это легко. Очень многие этим сервисом пользуются, если не большая часть. Лягушка мразотная. Могли бы модельку лягушки посадить, а не только источник звука. Вообще-то. Ну ладно. Надо идти в
As a
дом.
child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Ну еще бы. Я думаю, если бы я жил в большом доме в детстве, какие-то его части тоже бы у меня вызывали страх. Все газеты разбросаны с этим объявлением. Милтон Финч. Пропал. Все-таки понятно, как он пропал.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Блин. А, по-моему, и так видно. Или не видно? Скажи мне, видно или не видно? Просто когда ты давно смотрел сам прохождение, и я так и не понял до тех пор, пока в конце она это сама не сказала. А, солнце, что ли? Еще игра темная, ну. Занавесили с телефона, у тебя же экран большой. Я думаю, тут точно ничего не видно. Да я сам окно занавесил, потому что игра темная. Земля. Горшки. Можно цветочки посадить. Не, ну так-то тебя точно увидят. Соседи там или кто-нибудь. Или еще кто-нибудь телефон достанет. Фотоаппарат откроет. Камеру. Ключ. Он от входной двери или нет?
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Ну-ка. Что там?
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Книги, книги, книги. Пойдем гулять. Гараж. Ну, тут ключей нет. О. Мгм. Ключ отсюда, наверное. А, тут эта штучка для собак. Не пролезть? А, так это изи.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Ну еще бы.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Да, они уехали. Кстати, видишь? Хотя ты написала, что ничего не вижу. Видишь эту конструкцию с мячиком в гараже? Знаешь, зачем она нужна? Так, блин. А, ты все о своем? Нет. Подумай. Я пока себе налью газировочку. Подумай, для чего она может быть нужна. Ну что? Идеи, мысли, предложения. Это теннисный мячик на веревке. Это просто теннисный мячик и просто веревка. На экране подсказка есть. Ну, как бы... Сама подсказка — это помещение, в котором мы находимся. И то, зачем его используют по прямому назначению. Но я тебе говорю, это теннисный мяч. На веревке. Тут звуки опять. Короче, в гаражах для того, чтобы упростить парковку автомобиля, чтобы каждый раз не смотреть там, сколько тебе осталось до препятствия, нормально ли ты заехал, вешают вот такие устройства из мячика на веревке. И когда ты заезжаешь в гараж, и мячик ударяется в лобовое стекло, все, значит, ты заехал ровно так, как нужно. И ты не паришься. Вот. Очень простая и действенная штука. Но для этого должен быть гараж у тебя. Инструменты. О, это же холодильник. Да. Пилу. Не могу. Ой, только что-то не доделал. Открою секрет, здесь никого нет. Кроме нас. Потому что эта игра — история жизни семьи. От лица девочки. Вот.
For the first time in years,
Календарь 2010-го. 90 лет.
I felt like I was home.
Да, эти семейные дома, конечно. Куча людей, куча всего, куча воспоминаний. Игра темная, кстати. Надо поярче сделать. Я думаю, так лучше будет.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Так. Эдит — это понятно. Льюис — это сын. Ну, ее брат. Эдди. Кто? Наверное, бабушка. Она самая старшая. Нет, не самая. Это, наверное, Один, это, наверное, про бабушка, дедушка. А Дон это кто? Блин, тут не подписано. Не помню, будет ли подписано по ходу игры или нет. Inline Memory, как же это, господи, переводится на русский? Ну, в память о Эдит Финч. 88-2010. Любимый брат Эдит, сын Доун, правнук. Вот это вот Эдди, бабушки. Фамильное кладбище Финчей. И адрес. Льюис Финч. Так. Мать. Это получается... Так вот... Это получается вот это вот Эдди и Один. Это просто бабушки, дедушки. Я не знаю, видно ли курсор на стриме. Дальше Доун, Гус и Грегори. Это... Господи. Дяди, тети, мамы, папы. А вот это вот уже братья, сестры двоюродные или прямые. Надо разбираться, в общем. Так. О, консервы. Рыба. Еда. Apple pie.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Лосось. Стоп, что-то не складывается. Или складывается. Нет, не складывается. Ну ладно. Просто... Если Эдит 99-го, а Льюис 88-го, у них разница 11 лет, но похоже ли, что у них здесь разница 11 лет? Что-то мне кажется, что не очень. Чей день рождения? 5 свечек. Значит, здесь Эдит 5 лет. Получается, ему должно быть 16. Слушай, если ей 5, то ему, в принципе, ему здесь может быть 16. Все нормально. Все нормально. Да. Методом дедукции мы пришли к тому, что это день рождения нашей героини. И это какой год? 99 плюс 5, 2004. Нормально. Насколько мы узнали из одной фотографии и генеалогического дерева. Ой, китайская еда.
Only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Везде лосось. The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Ну да. Еда. Китайская.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Да, это стало быть прабабушка, все правильно.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Интересно. О, это лежанка котика. Кошки. Молли, по-моему. Смотри, ветер. Завывает.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Дедушка Свен сделал для Барбары. Сэм, может быть? А, вот. Дедушка Свена, Барбара вообще. Ладно, я пока еще нормально не разобрался. Ой, это же Йетти в заднем плане. Узнаем по ходу дальше. Я честно не помню, почему так отмечен. Это в дереве разобраться. Это на самом деле, ну, сколько я помню, по повествованию надо как бы держать в уме, кто там чей брат, сват, кум и так далее. Это будет не очень понятно. И тут в одном поколении могут быть очень разновозрастные люди, кстати. То есть, например, братья могут быть по возрасту как отец и сын.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Да ну, разбить, да зайти. Я уже запутался, если честно, в этом доме. Ах. Ты дверь увидела, просто вспомнил немножко.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Пойдем наверх.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
О! Какие, а?
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Барбара, это же маленькая. Сколько ей было-то? 16? Она... Да, по постеру видно, что она где-то, скажем так, для фильма, постера, для чего-то... Ну, короче, так, немножко знаменитой была. Чё? Ее комната.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Один. Вот. А Эдди прабабушка. Это вообще отец-то прадед? Как-то так, наверное. Это, наверное, мать Барбары, стало быть. Ой, винный шкафчик, кайф.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Только алкоголь видишь, да? Винишка. На, все спальни заколочены. Стало быть, Свен. Свен это прадед. Я так понимаю. Да, наверное, все-таки Свен это прадед, если дверь их. Ладно. Что? Грегори. А я помню его. Келвин 11. Да. Молю 10.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Двоюродный дедушка. Уолтер. Двоюродный дедушка это значит брат бабушки. Или дедушки. А кто дедушка тогда? Сэм? Я потерял немножко нить. Блин, классно разрисовано.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
— 20 000 лье под водой. Книжка. Классно. Ох ты.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Тайные двери.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Милтон брат. Старший. Но ему было 5. Угу.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Это комната. Молли.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Чего бы съесть? Ну-ка. Хомячок. Корм для хомяка.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Вкусно. Тыква.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Эх, сожрала все конфеты. Дверь заперта.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Кролик? Там кролик был или хомяк? Сбежал, наверное. Рыбки. Можно рыбок сожрать.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Ладно, ладно. Я съем последний. Ты не думай, мне тоже ни хрена не видно. Ой, ну-ка. Зубная паста.
Eating and eating.
Как вкусно. Ням-ням.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Вкуснях. Ой, птичка.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Чириканье. Ну-ка,
It was a
начирикай мне
barn
еды.
swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Котик. Ну-ка, цап-царап.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Я котик. Мяу. Давай. Бррр. Ах ты. Поганая птица. Ах ты, скотина. Прыг. Вот.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Что же за птица-то такая, а?
I jumped and I almost got her.
Ну-ка.
I could tell she was getting really tired.
Загонял. Ой, что это за... Ой, мистер Шапка. Мистер Курочка.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Это же сраная
I gobbled
птица.
her up. And suddenly, I was an owl.
О,
First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
где же должна быть
Rabbits.
заяц. Ну-ка. Ням-ням. Ура!
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
А кушать хотел, не знаю. Ты же ребенок.
A mama rabbit.
Мама Рэббит, ну-ка. Опа.
She was almost too big to carry. I
Да.
started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
Ням-ням.
And suddenly, I was a shark.
Акула на дереве. Ей. Добраться до моря.
I rolled
Ей.
off a cliff and into the ocean.
Ура.
Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Звук из челюсти надо. Тут.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Тюлень, ну-ка посмотрим. Ну-ка поищем. О, ну-ка, ну-ка, ну-ка. Ну-ка, ну-ка, иди к папе. Ням-ням-ням-ням. Давай. Вот чертова игра. Ням-ням.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Вкусный тюлень какой. Ну все, дружок. Готовься. В смысле? Что происходит?
I grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Ой, я уже... Я уже змея.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real wild.
Ну-ка. Это все? Я его съел.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Как можно остановиться, когда столько вкусных людей рядом? Ам-ням-ням-ням-ням. Как же вкусно. Теперь время капитана. Тук-тук.
After the was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Что же это было, интересно?
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Приятный запах из трубы. Удивительно. Что это могло быть?
I
Ой,
got
это же...
closer and closer.
Это же чья-то спальня. Где же эта спальня?
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Ребенок 10-летний. Захлопнутый уже. Мяу. Кто это сказал? Кто сказал мяу? Там котик! Там котик! Ну слышь, в твоем-то положении лазить по таким этим, ну, ты чё, мать? Пойдем.
This will be
Котик,
obvious
блядь.
later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Ага.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Ух ты, это комната бабушки. Ух. Нормально, слушай. Попугай. Попугай. Вообще непонятно что. Птичка. Птичка. Змея, ничего себе. Еще одна птичка. Самая, наверное, крутая это сова. Или скорее, это не сова, это этот, господи, как они. Мелкие эти сволочи. Не сычи, а забыл. Ну, короче, маленькие такие советки. Эдит Финч. Кто это? Не знаю.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Нормально. Dragon Kills Finch. Да. Все руки мастер был. Машинка. Весло.
Lewis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Не дописал немножко. Да, Льюис. Ой, домик. Прикольно.
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Hmm.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Плавание с домом? Ничего себе.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Угу. Начальный дом
Odin's daughter
утонул.
Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
Так. Эдди. И Свен это прабабушка, прадедушка. Молли это их дочка. То есть моя героиня просто бабушка, получается.
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Как выйти отсюда? Несерьезно.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
М. Ой, это самая дверь, которая закрыта была.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Ох ты, нифига себе. Это пол.
The only
Hi.
trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Это точно, вот это да. Бы хотел себе такую ванну, комнату? Розовую все. С ковролином, с настолько длинным ворсом. Прям, не знаю, сантиметров 10. Ух ты, секреты туалета.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Ух ты. Секретики.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Сэм это дедушка. Милтон. Чья это комната? Ну-ка. Мгм. Круто.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Класс.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Полный оборот.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Зачем я сюда забрался? Ладно. Сколько ждут секретов?
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Выпивка! Мы здесь уже были. О, это же комната.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
А, то есть я могу обратно залезть. Ну ладно, мне это не нужно. Я отсюда и выйду, кажется. Ой, даже мерч был. Круто.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Ой, сколько же здесь лежит.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Барбара и Уолтер брат и
Okay,
сестра.
I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Барбара. Если кем она была для главной героини или кем она была вообще? Она была популярной девочкой, лицом, криком, что ли. То ли какого-то фильмов про Йети. Как-то так. Можно посмотреть сейчас после.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman Killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished.
Куда он делся?
She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Ну там.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true.
Ну, шуточки.
And she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Да.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Ну, видимо, все свалили на того, кто пропал. Что сегодня произошло, я так и не понял. Ну, слушай, она где-то... Ну, играла где-то. Сначала была девочка, и вот как бы... Крик. И мы ее... Был знаменитый когда-то. А потом... А дальше мы комикс смотрели.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Ну да. Так, кстати, а ты заметил это что-то? Или нет? Или все еще нет? Ну, светло же, видно должно быть. Человек с крюком, но это же... Вечеринка, типа, была. То есть ты видишь, да? Кто-то ее убил, да. Ладно. А вот и ключ. Шарики.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Да, надо смотреть под ноги.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Ну-ка. Холодильники.
It turned out she was
Это у неё
hiding a lot
ход.
more than that.
Нифига себе, ну что, работает. Ничего не видно.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a
Ой,
pattern in all
похоже на
these
бункер.
stories,
Едой.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Кажется, он просто засел здесь. Утро. Нормально.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
30 лет. Внизу. Кушая
On that
консервы.
first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
Тряска? Почему?
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today.
Персики.
I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
Так. Январь 76-го.
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just
Март 2005-го.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day. Even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house...
Дядюшке, жившим под нашим домом. Да, значит, это...
I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself.
Понимаешь, о
and
ком
found out
она
what
говорит?
happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Она сказала, что она осталась одна, вернее, мы вдвоем. Не о маме говорит.
I don't know
Стулья
if I
ветром
should even be
унесло.
writing this.
Нет, не мама, посмотри внимательней.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
Мои светильники, которые реагируют на движение, на шум.
But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of.
Мы идем.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Ну что, ты догадалась? То есть,
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
не знаю, будет светло, я тебе скажу.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
Горелочка.
What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Еще домашних животных. Собака была, рыбка. Еще одна собака. Котик. Ролики. Рыбка.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Барбара. Котик.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
О, это же Тонущий дом?
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
А, так вон же он. Развалины дома, который затонул. Он красный мигает.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Ну так.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Они построили какой-то.
Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Джей Кумар. Кто ты? А, вот еще.
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Домик на дереве.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Теперь понимаешь, с кем она говорила? Кого она имела в виду? Тут не забраться. Все, я нашел.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Сэм. Ух ты, какая штука.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
На войне был. Вот. Ой, котик. Это котик. Билет.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Это точно.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
И вот какие-нибудь... О, птица, птица, птица. Птица стоять.
Aw.
Птица к птице. Что-то найти должен, да?
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hey! That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
Ali.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn up. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn!
Возможно, можно было и не стрелять, кстати. Но я не уверен.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
sad.
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Вот так он и погиб. О, потайные ходы опять. Кайф. В смысле мелкая? Ты видела оленя? Размеры этого оленя? Конечно, олень мог взбрыкнуть и вытолкать легко человека со скалы. Особенно в таком положении неустойчивом. Ты что?
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Ой, тайные центры управления. Нет. Это был олень. Это был несчастный случай. Как, в общем-то, и все предыдущие. Почти.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
Так, это стало быть мама. Угу. Грегори. Да. Ну, уже знал. Ой, я помню, по-моему, эту историю. Она такая... Да.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Утя.
That's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Утя.
I wonder what he saw. It reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was, he saw. It sure made him happy.
Как же это добраться туда?
How silly it sounds. But I I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Да, вот так. Ух ты, стенка.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
Верхний
At
этаж,
the
но
time, it was as far away as she could get.
должна второго брата посмотреть.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Ну, это опять несчастный случай ведь. Семейное проклятие, как говорят они. Да, с пузом-то не особо тут лазить. Понимаю. «22 недели» это сколько? 5,5 месяцев? Ну, уже половинка, да. Половинка срока.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Санджей, это твой отец, понятно. Что тебя как-то запокапил. Угу. Короче говоря, листочками вот так отмечены те, кто приходил в семью. То есть, например, если ее мама была как бы, скажем так, потомственным Финчем, то Санджей это вот ее отец, она с ним где-то познакомилась. Так же, как и Ингеборг была для прапрадеда. Вот. Fly to India. Да, так и есть.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
Вот. Сразу после окончания учебы.
Lewis was born a year later.
Льюис. Первый сын, который умер во сколько? 22? Да. Это брат получается. Ой, слушай, а вот мы по пристройкам пошли.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Да, немного расширить. Совсем чуть-чуть.
And for a while, things were good.
О, это
Almost
же
normal.
как школа. Наверное, жил хомячок.
But it didn't last.
О, это минутка истории семейной. О, это семья. Мальчика, те самые, и маленькая Эдит.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Ух ты, на самом деле. Наверное. Блин, замок это прикольно, конечно. Ох ты. Классно. Милтон. Да, это ее брат.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Так, значит, он исчез. А, точно, его тело так и не нашли ведь, да. Ну, пропал без вести, но считаю, что умер.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Красиво. Нет, тут не про это игра.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
Так, Льюис это еще один брат. Да, которого мы видели на фотографии на
After he
холодильнике.
graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Да, консервный завод. О, это что, реально? Это кусок... Это лодка? Кусок лодки в доме. Классно.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Да.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Да. Чем-то баловался? Будем говорить, чем. Ой, компьютер. Игровой. Клавиши. Нормально. Прям такая халупа. Я бы так хотел компьютер поставить, чтобы кругом так было. Круто.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse.
Так, о
Newly
зависимости.
sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery.
Берем рыбку, отрезаем голову, рыбка идет дальше. Берем рыбку, Отрезаем голову.
In our sessions, I
Рыбка
saw
идет
the same
дальше.
behavior.
Прям рыбку. Рыбка плывет, плывет, плывет. Хоба!
His mind began to
Ну давай, ну давай.
wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats
Тучи-мыши,
and toads.
жабы. Ой,
And
дракончик.
things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found
Костерок.
something more. I worried about him then, daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Ой, воображаемая собачка. Кайф.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Гору
He built the
свою
city
часть.
up slowly, brick by brick.
Кайф.
Then he
Собственно,
made
город.
musicians.
Отдай мне рыбу. Алло. Давай, рыбка, идем. Музыканты, да,
and songs for
воспаляйте
them to
меня.
play. He
Ой,
talked
рыба
about
улетела.
starting a band. And he was always humming something.
Ой, рыба улетела.
Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannon,
Оступитесь. Царь идет.
but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Марио, отсылка.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
Нью-Йорк.
St. Louis.
Ха, Сент-Луис. Да.
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Да, поплыли дальше.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
Ну ладно. Ну, молодцы. Надо
The
сначала
queen
смотреть.
was on her own quest for radiant rainbows.
Я на заводе работаю, не видишь? Не мешай. Ей, радуга! Ей, еще одна радуга!
He followed the sound of her electric sitar.
Да. Ой, я ноты пропускаю. Я руина.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
Вот мы и приплыли.
Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Ой, рыб как много. Алло. Ре.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Да, будешь много баловаться не только кальяном, то, что попадешь.
For
Например,
someone
будешь
who'd
много
never
лососем
known success
баловаться.
in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Чернь.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Спасибо. 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 Вы очень хороший народ. Спасибо.
Including the
Спасибо.
wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
Спасибо. Спасибо.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Это, Колен, не смешно, это... Все грустно. Каждая история
My brother
хуже
was really
предыдущей.
cool. I wish you could have met him.
Эх. Знаете, что надо сделать? Надо сделать рыбный перерыв, раз уж такое дело. Да, именно так это заразно. Я тут, кстати, вспомнил. Я подумывал сделать гадость и залетать на стримы по Рэйчел Фостер и говорить, кто убийца. И выходить. Ну, рассуждай, не рассуждай, некоторые люди просто не могут справиться. Не замечают, не видят, не к кому обратиться. Да, я такой. Берешь, залетаешь, и все, можно игру не играть больше. Вот эту игру, наверное, даже испортить нельзя. Тут просто истории рассказывают. Если единственное только, ну, не знаю, надо как-нибудь все-таки догадаться, что та, за кого мы играем, беременна.
My mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Тут у мамы уже, наверное, крыша поехала всего этого.
I wish we'd stayed.
О, это же эти мягкие штучки. Так, наверное, тут мать была. Тут, наверное, была мать. Потому что здесь куча листовок.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Да. Ой, она книгу написала? Ничего себе.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Птичка.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Ой, перышко.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Подарок. Я хочу забрать подарок.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Конечно, что есть запасной выход. Код, выход.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
А это бабушкина.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things.
Ой, привет.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
Кто из вас так в машине не делал, ну? Признавайтесь, ну все ведь делали.
A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Вот так. Я думаю, она при родах умерла. А это был ее сын, которого мы видели. Меня не покидает ощущение, что я чего-то не нашел. Я что-то пропустил, побегал. Потому что она довольно короткая мне показалась, когда я бегал сам. Когда я смотрел, она была длиннее. Ну слушай, скорее всего, в оленя надо было стрелять, иначе бы не пошло. Ты же помнишь, как он погиб? Вот. Ой, еще достижения какие-то, то, что смотришь. Нормально. Ну, хорошая история. Только, правда, короткая, такая проходная, но... Ну, вот так. Ну, не знаю, наверное, мне она определенно понравилась, раз уж я ее когда-то смотрел. Сейчас даже ее купил, даже ее прошел. Вот. Ну почему же? Так получилось, поднялся ветер. Но вечеринку не захотели сворачивать. Ну, несчастный случай. Они еще титры достаточно интересно сделали, это ведь. Это, наверное, детские фотографии разработчиков, тех, кто принимал участие. Ну, почему все летает? Это же, ну, так. Это ж образно было. Ну, ветерок был, что-нибудь там, не знаю, пару стульчиков, может, поддуло. О, они еще этих, те, кто в тестировании участвовал, засунули сюда, интересно. Ураган и гроза, ну, ветер сильный, и гроза подходила, да. Третья история. Это как? Зачем я ее прошел? Хорошая игра, я думаю, на этом-то можно и закончить. Повторить, я не знаю, заново начать. Можно выбрать, видимо, какого момента или чью историю посмотреть. Наверное, так. Давай попробуем. Переиграть или просто пересмотреть. Не знаю. Да, скорее всего, да, переиграть с момента.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime. Perfect.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
Ну все, наверное.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never...
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your... Let me me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Now keep yourself squared up, elbows down, like we practiced. Whenever you're ready.
Но он не уйдет. Может только попробовать вот так. Нет. Вот тут видишь, в любом случае придется. Так или иначе.
Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Ну что ж. Все, наверное, на этом. Как я уже сказал, игра была хорошая, она мне понравилась. Что проходить дальше, я пока не придумал. Ну ладно. Хорошо, я сейчас посмотрю.